Hello everyone, welcome back to Tesla's Cube. My name is AcceleReece and behind the camera is JoMo.
Yo, what's up?
And today we have all the Hyperpods laid out for you, and we're going to take a closer look at each one, see what they do. We're going to talk about their packaging, these DVDs that they came with, and the exclusive cars. Perspective shift, what do you think, JoMo?
Let's get a ride into the Hot Wheels.
Good idea! So there are two types of Hyperpods. There's these larger ones that were battery powered, and then you also have these smaller ones. And before we get into it, I want to talk about the packaging because I do have two of these in the original package. As you can see, this one here came with Drift Tech. This one here came with RDO 6. These are the only two I have. All three of these, which are down here, they all came with a separate DVD. As you can see, this one has the Clash on the Coast DVD. Yes, I have them separately. Now, earlier versions of these actually came with exclusive cars. I don't actually know if this is the one that came with it, but there was a Sinistra that came with one of these. There was a Shredster that came with one of these, and there's actually a wheel variation of this Shredster that has
5-spoke wheels. Yeah. I actually have it in my own collection, so we'll throw in a clip of that.
And then this Slam Ram Hyperpod came with this droned whipped creamer, which is pretty interesting. I'm sure the drone fans in the audience really want one of these, or maybe already have one. So you can see on the back here, you got some artwork. You got an advertisement for the Swampy's track set, which if you stay tuned, we might get to that one day. There's the, the card game. And, oh, look at that. All the exclusive cars are right there. So I was right, Sinistra comes with the Harpoon. And just like with the regular cars, you got all the resin prototypes there. I wonder if they still exist. See, there's a little DVD thing. None of these really came with VHS. They all came with the DVDs. And it was pretty much just Ignition split into different episodes. So we got this Clash on the Coast one here. There's the back of it. I don't know if you want to see the inside. We had a Swamp Attack, I think this one was called. And I believe these are up on AcceleRacers Central's YouTube channel, but I'm not sure if they're still up with all the copyright stuff. They might be taken down by now. It really depends. And then there's a Storm Run one. I think this one actually came before the Swamp, but...
I love their facial expressions. They're so, like, serious.
Yeah, because it's a serious race.
Edgy.
Oh, and some of these earlier Hyperpods that came with these exclusive cars down here, they came with this, World Race Highlights. Now, I don't have the original box, I just have the disc. But it's like World Race, but it's like only the highlights and the most important parts. So it's like a recap kind of thing.
Notice the AcceleRacers logo on there too.
Yeah, isn't that trippy?
Yeah, it's so weird seeing a World Race product with AcceleRacers.
So without further ado, we're going to jump right in and we're going to look at each one by one. So we're going to start with the smaller ones with the Carpoon. So the Carpoon Hyperpod. Now these three smaller ones, they're not battery powered, they are kid powered, or in our case, dorky young adult powered. So we're gonna use, we're not gonna use the cars that these came with. I got some extras here. We're gonna use anthracite for this guy. So the first thing we're gonna do, there's a little flap on the back. Open that up, drive our car inside. Now these little tabs here, I mentioned these tabs in my old Driller Hyperpod review and I couldn't understand what they did.
Most cars have to sit on top of the plastic notches and it just looks uncomfortable. If I'm doing something wrong here, please let me know.
Yeah, people lampoon me in the comments about how stupid I was. You're supposed to put these on the hubs of the wheels and it holds it in place. I don't really like that though, because you really got to squeeze the car to get it in there, and that's an easy way to bend your axles. But yeah, you can see there, that's how it's supposed to hold your car in place. So we're going to close that door. Now, this is one of the only Hyperpods, I think it is the only Hyperpod that did not appear in the show. So it's a Harpoon gun. This thing kind of moves up and down. It's not very stable. It tends to just kind of fall over. And I'm just now realizing too that this Harpoon actually looks a lot like the grapple gun that was on like the cars, like when Wild falls off the coast and he shoots the grapple hook up. Doesn't it kind of look like that?
It does. That's weird.
I wonder if that was on purpose.
It probably was, honestly.
This thing goes up and down. You can hear it clicks. This thing is like a winch, so when you pull it and let go, it'll go back up. Hey, it works. Hey, there we go. Spine buster.
Spine buster.
So we're gonna Harpoon spine buster. You ready?
Hey!
Let's get him on the edge of the cliff. I got you, Wild.
What's happening to my car?
Each sold separately, batteries not included. You know, I've actually never done that before with this.
Really?
This is my first time playing with it.
Huh.
Next up is the Driller Hyperpod. So in January of 2019, I actually did a very in-depth review of this thing, but there are a few things that I didn't really understand, and that was actually a different copy of it, and it was much more used. So I just kind of want to go over it again. This is the Driller Hyperpod. Now, before I show you how it works, we gotta drive our car into it. Alright, I can only take so much of that. Now, in that original video, I talked about these tabs and I was like, I don't know what they do! And then, yeah, everyone in the comments corrected me. So yeah, they're supposed to hold the wheels in. But still, jackhammer still doesn't fit, just like I said in that video. Now this thing here, in the last video, I actually complained about this falling down. It turned out it was just that copy of it. This one is not as used, and as you can see, it's a much tighter hinge, and it actually stays up, which is very nice. Now the Driller Hyperpod is pretty simple. It's probably got a notch on these wheels. No, it doesn't. But there's a gear connected to this axle, which is, you know, hidden underneath here, that turns the drills. So when you move the Driller Hyperpod along, it drills. Oh no! Oh no! It's drilling JoMo! It's drilling JoMo! It's cutting his leg!
Holy hell! Oh my god!
So that's the driller. It's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Anything I really had to say about it was I already talked about in the other video. So if you want to watch that, I got a link in the description. The next one is the last of the three small ones, and it's a fan favorite, the Slam Ram Hyperpod. Alright, before we get into it, we gotta drive our car. So this thing actually lifts up here, just like that. It doesn't seem like there's a ramp there, that's just how it is. So we're gonna drive our car up in, just pretend it has like the most strong shocks ever. It's funny when this appears in the movie because it appears on the RDO8 and it just sort of like comes out of nowhere, like it like transforms, but it just sort of like
Materializes out of nothing.
yeah, materializes into existence. Now the way this works is really cool. So we got this little ramp here, and as you can see, there's little wheels on the bottom. There's a spring in here, and you click it in place. And if you saw that little purple thing go up, that purple thing there is a button. And when you press it, bam! So it's no wonder that this one's a fan favorite because its function is really cool. If you have one of these though, and you're going to display it, I would not recommend displaying it with that stuck in there because all you're doing is compressing that spring and making it weaker. So usually when I display it, I put it in there, but I don't click it in, kind of like that. Ramp! Well, it doesn't work as cool as it does in the movie. It didn't shoot it up into the air, but you get the idea.
A little bit.
I almost flipped it. Ramp! I don't like it, Kurt. Yeah! Ha ha! That's what you get, Kurt. Hey, that got him.
Yeah, that got him.
Wild still survived though. We gotta get him.
We need to kill him.
Yeah, you get the idea. So that is the Slam Ram Hyperpod. Oh no, it's going after JoMo!
Oh god, oh god, ah!
Alright, now we're getting on to the Deluxe Hyperpods. These are battery powered and they all do different things. First one we're going to check out is the Crawler Hyperpod. But I think we might need some batteries first. Yep, 3 AA's.
As a fun little side note, I actually fixed this thing. I restored it. I had to unscrew the entire thing, go into the internals, and just put a little gear back into place that was making this thing a little janky. But it should work now. But a little JoMo engineering for you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, this thing's super loud too.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Holy
Yeah.
crap. The Accelerons believed in moving forward. So how this works is, when you drive your car up in, this thing is actually like a switch, and once it goes into that switch, it drops this thing down and turns it on, which is really interesting. Once you lift it up, it turns off. Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Take this licensed garbage. Yeah. Oh. Let's make some music, baby. Oh no, it's going after JoMo.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
So this one here is called the, what is it called? Rocket socket.
I don't even
It's called
know.
the rocket socket.
I never learned the name of that one.
Everyone calls it the dragster. It's the rocket socket. So this one here is the rocket socket. So this one here is the rocket socket Hyperpod, my favorite one. And I've actually never tested this one before. There's a couple things that move in here, but this switch here, which the car's wheel would be on, is what powers the wheels. So we're gonna put a car on there, and I know this thing's fast, so we got a pillow set up there just in case I don't damage this thing. We gotta drive our car inside, remember? Now this hatch opens up like this. Now how the car would drive up in there, I have no idea. We're just gonna pretend there's a ramp here. So your car drives in.
Oh, that thing's fast.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
There she goes. That was much better.
Oh yeah.
I remember it going faster in the commercial though, so I don't know if that's full speed. So that was the Dragster Hyperpod. Oh, no,
God!
the others take 3 AA batteries, this one takes 4. That means it must have more power, baby! So this is the Crawler Hyperpod, another battery-powered one. And it's articulated, sort of, so when it crawls, it kind of moves like this, almost like a caterpillar. Now when you put the car in there, it flicks this trigger in here. But before we do that, JoMo pointed out the fact
There should be a track connection right there. We're not 100% sure if that works, so we're going to test that on camera here for you.
Yeah, he pointed that out to me, and I can't believe I never noticed that before. That is totally a track connection point.
Yep.
I can't believe you caught that. Alright, Kurt, show him how it's done. There's this little switch here, this little black thing, and you can see these things that hold the car in place. If you open that up, or if you press this down, it opens those up like that. So when the car goes in, it presses this trigger, and those close. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Alright, now we need some stuff for it to climb over. That thing is fast. Look at him go. He's a speedy boy.
Yeah, when you bent over to like pick up the crawler, I kind of like zoomed in on your ass.
Why?
Because it was funny. It was like right in frame, and I was like, all right.
Look at my ass, Daddy. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so that's an in-depth look at all the Hyperpods and their functions. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more because we got some awesome videos coming up. I'm AcceleReece, and behind the camera was JoMo.
Yep. See ya.
Wait, JoMo, where you going? You done already? I'm done. Oh, okay. Well, see you everyone. Take care.